What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and this is going to be my review and analysis of Legendary Yuri, and I'll also be going over my tier list of the Wind Legendary units. So Legendary Yuri is a Red Dagger infantry unit, and he's also a Wind Legendary unit who not only has the pair up effect but can also boost up the attack of the Wind Blessed allies, and he does have his Slotsy skill, which we are actually, shown here. So here he is affected by Thor's stalled status, but because of Fetters of Dromi, the stalled status does not really make it so that he can only move one space. Instead, he can move two space. It's just that he doesn't really get the extra movement, but he still has the usual movement of an infantry unit. So that's pretty much what they wanted to showcase with that, and we also see his stats right there. So he has got a Bizzle Blade as his preferred weapon, and this gives him -1 special cooldown, and he can also get +5 to all of his stats, and he also has the half version of Null Follow-Up, the offensive half, so it allows him to bypass the follow-up negation effects, and he can also get true damage based on 20% of his speed, and this can actually get added to the AoE specials as well, and then finally he can reduce damage from foes' first attack by 30%. So overall this weapon is pretty decent, but what makes him a lot better is definitely going to be Fetters of Dromi, which does enable Canto 2, and at start of turn he can move one extra space just like the regular Yuri, so he pretty much has the preferred weapon of the regular Yuri as his Slotsy skill, and at start of turn if he has got stalled status active on him, it pretty much neutralizes the effect of the stalled status. So he can move two spaces when he's affected by stall, so he's not really countered by stall completely, and he still has two movement instead of just having one movement. And then he has the Spectrum Rain effect, where he's basically able to debuff for all 4 of the stats on foes within 2 spaces of him. So this is pretty good for helping out the other allies, and also for, pretty much getting these debuffs for himself in the combat. And he does come with a new slotted skill in attack speed Hexblade. So this is pretty much going to be a new skill, likely locked to infantry units, I would say. So at start of turn, if the unit is within 2 spaces of a magic ally, unit can get the Hexblade status effect for 1 turn. And if any bonus is active on unit, then unit can get +7 attack and speed in combat. So Hexblade is actually a status effect, and it does count as a bonus. So it pretty much fulfills the secondary condition by its first condition. So the bonus being active is going to be giving you the offenses, and Hexblade status is pretty much the adaptive damage, which is going to be really good, and it's definitely not to be underestimated. And it's also really strong when Brave Crumb can pretty much copy this and also get the adaptive damage. So having the adaptive damage is going to be, really good for this kind of slotty skill, especially if you use them with a mage unit, which is not really all that hard to do for many of the game modes like Aether Raids or Summoner Duels, or even in Arena, I guess. So yeah, this is definitely a pretty nice slotty skill. And then he's got Sealed Speed 4, which is not really all that good. This can definitely be replaced with other slot B skills, as you'll see in a moment. So that is pretty much our Legendary Yuri, and his stats are actually shown in the trailer, but they are boosted by Freya in that clip. So he does have 41 HP and 44 base attack, and also really high speed at base 47. Probably is going to be having a super boon in speed, and he is going to be functioning as a pretty good nuke with that true damage that he can get based on his speed, and also the support that he provides with the foul play that he comes with. And he also has amazing hit and run potential because of Canto 2 and having the extra movement as a range unit. So pretty much he's going to be like a slightly better Yuri with a bit better damage output. But what he lacks is basically the fact that the opportunity cost in slot C. So you cannot really run Time Pulse because Fetters of Dromi is in slot C. So you cannot really have easy pre-charges to his AoE or to lethality just like the regular version of Yuri. So that is something that is going to be a bit troublesome, I suppose, when using Yuri, and you'll have to provide him some extra support if you want him to have pre-charge specials like AoE specials or lethality. So you can use stuff like Duo Asker, Quicken Pulse Sacred Seal, Veluria, Raphael. All of those units are going to be helping you pre-charge your specials, and Yuri is definitely going to be helping you do damage in the combat with his weapon. And the Canto is going to be amazing for Arena, just for the hit and run potential. So as a Wind Legendary unit, he's definitely pretty amazing, but he's definitely going to be getting stopped by a lot of the far safe tanks who have Hardy Fighter and stuff like that, because it is going to be a bit hard for him to pre-charge lethality. And of course, he doesn't really have the tools of beating a lot of the far-safe tanks that easily on his own. He doesn't really have any kind of special charges or any kind of tempo effect in his weapon, which could maybe help him. So overall, I would say that Legendary Yuri is a very solid unit, but he's not really too insane. He's going to be functioning as a better Yuri, basically. A new upgraded version of Yuri, and Fetters of Dromi is going to be a pretty nice Lottie skill so that it can make him immune to the effect of stall status, so that he does not have one movement whenever he's affected by the stall status. Stall itself is a pretty niche effect, but still Yuri finds a way of countering that in his Lottie skill, so that is definitely good. So like I said, he's pretty solid overall, being able to function as a nuke, and foul play is always really good for the support. And he is going to be mainly like an arena unit, being able to function really well there because the mobility and not being affected by the trenches while still having 3 movement is really good. As for his builds, you can definitely use him with a budget build with Moonbow and Blade Session, but if you want to give him Special Spiral 4, then that could definitely be run, and you can just loop a special like Luna, and Special Spiral 4 does provide you a way of piercing through damage reduction skills without really relying on lethality. And you can also run Remote Sparrow on him so that he can stack up the damage reduction with his Abyssal Blade and basically have more survivability. And then tempo skill means that he can easily trigger his special in the combat, so you can either run Moonbow or you can run Luna, so either of those are going to be an option. He can also function with an AoE build because keep in mind the true damage from his speed actually does get added to the AoE specials as well. So that's also one of the ways of building him up. And even though Special Spiral 4 is not going to be piercing through the damage reduction, it is going to be giving you that extra true damage, so it can be a pretty good option here. If you want to run an AoE Yuri, you will definitely need some support to pre-charge this, and he can definitely be used in Aether Raid's offense with a pre-charged lethality. It's just that you will need some support with Valyria, Asker, or Raphael, you know, stuff like that. And in Summoner duels, he can definitely be run with a sweep skill like Water Sweep so that he doesn't really get countered by the distant counter Dragon Sacred Seal units. So that is definitely one way of using him, and in both of the game modes, I think he should be running Attack Speed Hexblade because having the adaptive damage is extremely good for taking on the safe tanks that are going to be facing. So I think it's a pretty good slotty skill, and for pre-charging lethality in Summoner duels, you could definitely try and run Duo Asker with him and run Quicken Pulse. So that way he can pre-charge his lethality and just go ham. It is going to be a bit hard for him to pre-charge lethality compared to the regular version of Yuri because of Fetters of Dromi, but still, it's an option. And finally, if you do plus and merge him, then he can score like a 205 BST unit because now we do have units with the 200 BST scoring in their dual skill. We saw that with Legendary Robin. So you can pretty much run Special Spiral 4 for Arena. I don't think Seal Speed 4 is all that good, and you can just run Swaraptured Sky so that you can pierce through the damage reduction when you pretty much trigger it. And you can also run Remote Sparrow just so that you can have better survivability. Now let's go over my win tier list and see where Yuri lands up. So I would definitely have Legendary Veronica in tier 1. In my opinion, she's the best win Legendary unit. Absolutely insane cavalry nuke with that enclosure, and she is just absolutely amazing for Summoner duels, for Aether Raid's defense, and just as a nuke. So I would put her in tier 1, and then in tier 2 I would put the new Legendary Yuri. I don't really think he's like a tier 1 material as of yet, like making this video. But still, like, his mobility is going to be absolutely amazing in Arena, and keep in mind that he is going to be a bonus unit for like 4 weeks consecutively after his release, so you could definitely use him right there as the Legendary bonus unit and have a lot of fun with the Canto, with the 3 movement, and being able to do a lot of damage. So I would definitely put him in tier 2. He's definitely pretty solid as a nuke and also as a support. And then I've got Legendary Mer, who is definitely a pretty good unit in Arena and also in Summoner duels. So her value has definitely increased because of Guidance 4 being a pretty insane and meta-defining skill for Summoner duels. And Warp Bubble being able to block that is really good, and she can also function as a frontliner in Summoner duels, and she can also score really well in Arena. So in a lot of the game modes, she can work out fine. And then we have got Legendary Eliwood with his insane support after his Refine and Remix. So he's going to be, you know, amazing for any kind of raid boss team or for Omni tanking. And then in tier 3, I would put Legendary Female Byleth. So even though she doesn't have Sublime Heaven, now she does have access to Special Spiral 4, which is definitely pretty good. And then I would have Legendary Sigurd. He's definitely aging up a bit, but still he can function in Aether Raid's defense, I suppose, with Emblem being there and disabling the save skills. And he can also be used in Summoner duels, but he's not really all that insane anymore. And then I would have Legendary Lucina in tier 3. So Legendary Lucina does have future vision, which is really helpful for Arena for that mobility. Any kind of mobility support is really amazing in Arena, like 2 Change Fate, Foul Play, or Future Vision 2. So any of that is really good. Unfortunately, Lucina doesn't really score all that high, but still is going to be a pretty solid Arena unit. And then in Tier 4, we do have other wind Legendary units like Legendary Corrin, who's going to be getting a Refine and Remix at early next year, I believe. So she can score high with the Distant Counter Dragon Sacred Seal, but is definitely going to be needing that Remix and Refine. And then I've got Legendary Micaiah, who can definitely new card, but she's not really going to be having the mobility of Yuri or the Canto or anything like that. And then we also have Reed here with his Weapon Refine and Remix, and Gunthra to finish off Tier 4. So all of these wind legendary units can work out, but they're a bit outclassed when it comes to their competition in the season and also in class. And the final unit is going to be Legendary Lynn, so she can function fine, but there are a lot of better safe busters and she doesn't really score all that high in Arena. So that is going to be my win tier list. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. And how would you rank the wind legendary units that we have? We definitely have quite a bit of them. Overall, this banner does provide some good value with the red color, as we do have Legendary Yuri color sharing with Emblem, who's definitely a must-have Aether Raid's defense unit for the Dark Season, and he's also color sharing with Legendary Sigurd, who is decent. And colorless is also pretty good for the color sharing with Goto, Medius, and also Asker. So all 3 of these units are pretty good, and green does have decent color sharing with Legendary Ninian being an amazing dancer, and also with Ascended Air, who can function as a really good nuke. And Ultra kind of brings down the value, but still green is decent, and blue is kind of lackluster with Note, Kalduri, and Harden. So red is, I suppose, good if you are trying to get the merges for your wind legendary units like Legendary Sigurd, and on the way you can also get merges for Legendary Yuri if you're trying to merge any of those units. Next month, we're going to be having the Young Characters banner, so I wonder who's going to be this time. Maybe Shadows of Valentia, maybe 3 Houses, who really knows. And then we're probably going to be getting a new Ascended Hero banner, because we did get a rearmed unit this month, so they're probably putting 1 Ascended unit and then 1 rearmed unit. And Golden Week is also in April, so it is going to be having the Hero Fest banners for all of the Choose Your Legends units. So if you're trying to finish up your merge projects on Choose Your Legends units, then that is going to be the perfect time to get the merges for them. And we're probably going to be getting a new Astra or Dark Mythic unit. So this is going to be the banner for next month. It is going to be a Mythic Hero banner, and we are probably going to be having a blue Dark or Astra Mythic unit. We have already gotten Anima and Light Mythic unit with Goto and for Mortis recently, so I don't think it's any of those. So probably Dark or Astra. And we're going to be having Gonglot in the green color, and also Ascended Tiki in the red color. So this is going to be the banner that we're going to be having next month. So you can definitely try and plan with your orbs with the given events, and also with the Hero Rises still ongoing. So let me know in the comments what do you think about Legendary Yuri, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure to share this video with your friends if they're trying to summon on this banner. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. Helps me tremendously, and if you really enjoyed, you could always support me directly by using super thanks down below or by becoming a YouTube member. And for more FEH videos, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as Stall on Legendary Yuri. So with that, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.